When self-love becomes toxic, 6 warning signs. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Okay, so self-love is super important, right? We're always told to put ourselves first, practice self-care and all that good stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's totally valid, but there's this whole other side to it that no one really talks about, when does self-love cross the line and become kinda toxic? Today we're diving into a really important topic, when self-love becomes toxic. We're going to be talking about those sneaky little signs that your self-love might actually be hurting you and the people around you. Make sure to stick around till the end to learn about all 6 warning signs. You won't want to miss this, trust me. First up, let's talk about when self-care becomes an obsession. It's great to take care of yourself, but when it starts to take over your life, it can be a problem. I'm all for face masks and bubble baths. But if you're constantly cancelling plans, ignoring your responsibilities, or spending an absurd amount of money on self-care products, it might be time to reevaluate. It's imagine you're scrolling through Instagram and all you see are these picture-perfect people talking about their me time and how they deserve this and that. It's easy to get caught up in that whole thing and feel like you need to be doing the absolute most to love yourself. But here's the thing. Real self-love isn't about constantly indulging in extravagant things or making yourself the center of attention. It's about finding a healthy balance between taking care of your own needs and being a functioning human being. Think about it this way. If your self-care routine is causing you stress, anxiety, or financial problems, it's probably not serving you in a positive way. It's how can you truly love yourself if you're constantly stressed about the next self-care thing you need to do? It's all about finding that sweet spot, you know? Maybe instead of booking a $300 massage every week, you try a DIY face mask at home and actually relax. Or instead of spending hours scrolling through Instagram and comparing yourself to others, you take some time for yourself to, read a book or go for a walk in nature. Remember, self-care should make you feel good, not guilty or stressed out. It's about listening to your body and giving it what it needs, whether that's a warm bath, a good night's sleep, or just some quiet time alone. Next, we have ignoring responsibilities. Self-love shouldn't be an excuse to neglect your duties and commitments. I'm talking about skipping work because you need a mental health day every other week, or constantly bailing on friends because you'd rather just stay in. Look, I get it, sometimes you just need a break. We all have those days where we'd rather stay in bed and watch Netflix than deal with the real world. But when it becomes a pattern, it's time to, check yourself. Using self-love as an excuse to avoid responsibilities is not only unfair to yourself, but it's also unfair to the people around you. It's imagine your friend is always cancelling plans at the last minute because they're prioritizing themselves. At first you might be understanding, but after a while, it's going to start to feel like they don't value your time or your friendship. And let's be real, constantly avoiding your responsibilities isn't going to make you feel good about yourself in the long run. It's just going to create more stress and anxiety in your life. It's that pile of laundry isn't going to wash itself, and that deadline at work isn't going to magically disappear. So how do you find that balance between taking care of yourself and fulfilling your responsibilities? It's all about setting boundaries and prioritizing. Maybe you schedule specific days for self-care so you know that on those days you're off the hook. And when it comes to responsibilities, try breaking them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. It's way less overwhelming to tackle a to-do list when it's not a mile long. Remember, true self-love means taking care of all aspects of yourself, including your responsibilities. It's about showing up for yourself and for the people who matter to you. Another warning sign is justifying bad behavior. Self-love doesn't mean you can treat others poorly and get away with it. Just because you're on a journey of self-discovery doesn't give you a free pass to be rude, inconsiderate, or just plain mean to other people. I've definitely been guilty of this in the past, using honesty as an excuse to say hurtful things. But here's the thing. There's a difference between being honest and being straight up disrespectful. True self-love means holding yourself accountable for your actions and treating others with kindness and respect, even when it's hard. It's about recognizing that your feelings are valid, but so are the feelings of others. It's you can't expect people to just put up with your bad behavior because you're working on yourself. That's not fair to them, and it's definitely not going to help you grow as a person. If you find yourself constantly justifying your bad behavior with self-love, It's time to take a step back and ask yourself some tough questions. Like, are you really prioritizing your own well-being? Or are you just using it as a shield to protect yourself from criticism? Remember, self-love is not about being selfish or putting yourself above others. It's about recognizing your worth and treating yourself with kindness. But it's also about extending that same kindness and respect to the people around you. Chapter 4. Isolating yourself isn't self-love. Isolation from others is also a red flag. While it's important to spend time alone, cutting off social connections can be harmful. Like, I love my alone time as much as the next person, but even I know that being around other people is important for my mental health. When you isolate yourself from others, you're basically cutting yourself off from a huge source of support. Friends, family, even just casual acquaintances, they all play a role in our overall well-being. Think about it this way. When you're feeling down, who do you turn to for support? Who do you vent to when you've had a bad day? Who makes you laugh until your stomach hurts? If you're constantly isolating yourself, you're missing out on those valuable connections and the positive impact they can have on your life. Now, I'm not saying you need to be the life of the party or anything. If you're more introverted, that's totally fine. But it's important to make an effort to maintain those social connections, even if it's just grabbing coffee with a friend once a week or calling your mum for a quick chat. Remember, humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection and interaction. Isolating yourself might seem like a good idea in the moment, but in the long run, it's only going to make you feel more lonely and disconnected. Chapter 5. Confidence or cockiness. Overconfidence can be a sign of toxic self-love. It's good to be confident, but not to the point where you become arrogant or dismissive of others. Like, there's a fine line between believing in yourself and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's like, remember that one friend who's always bragging about their accomplishments and putting others down? Yeah, that's not a good look. When you're overly confident, you close yourself off to feedback and growth. You become so convinced of your own rightness that you're unwilling to listen to other perspectives or admit when you're wrong. And let's be real, nobody likes a know-it-all. It's one thing to be confident in your abilities, but it's another thing entirely to act like you're the smartest person in the room. True self-love means recognizing your strengths, but also acknowledging your weaknesses. It's about being open to learning and growing, even if it means admitting you don't have all the answers. So how do you find that balance between confidence and arrogance? It's all about humility. Remember that everyone has something to offer, and be open to learning from others. And don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Being able to poke fun at your own flaws is a sign of true confidence. Chapter 6. Don't get stuck. Lastly, avoiding growth is a major warning sign. Self-love should encourage you to grow and improve, not stay stagnant. Like, if you're constantly making excuses for your behavior, refusing to take responsibility for your actions, or surrounding yourself with yes men, you're not exactly setting yourself up for personal growth. It's like, imagine you're a plant that's been sitting in the same pot for years. The roots are all tangled up, and the soil is depleted of nutrients. That plant isn't going to thrive, right? It needs fresh soil, more space, and maybe even a little pruning to reach its full potential. The same goes for us humans. We need to challenge ourselves, step outside of our comfort zones, and be willing to make mistakes in order to grow. If you're using self-love as an excuse to stay stuck in your ways, you're not doing yourself any favors. It's like, how can you truly love yourself if you're not even willing to try to become the best version of yourself? True self-love means embracing challenges, learning from your mistakes, and constantly striving to improve. It's about recognizing that you're a work in progress, and that's totally okay. So don't be afraid to get uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to fail. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow and lets me know what kind of content you guys are vibing with. Let us know in the comments if you've noticed any of these warning signs in yourself or others. Let's keep this conversation going because, we all need to be more aware of this stuff. See you in the next video.